Good evening, Kentucky. At 3 p.m. on this hour, I have deployed troops into the Middle East region. Upon my order, I'm just playing, but getting into this, you know, politician thing. I do want to actually talk about something pretty serious. Okay, so we'll start out with a Chris. I think it's a Chris Hedges quote. But essentially, right now we now live in a nation where the doctors destroy health, lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, the press destroys information, religion destroys morals, and our banks destroy the economy. It's a bizarre world. Up is down, down is up. Doctors destroy health, lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, the press destroys information, religion destroys morals, and our banks destroy the economy. The historical task of the oppressed is to not just liberate themselves, but them and their oppressors as well. The level that one politely submits to will be the level of injustice that will be perpetuated upon them. It's time to become Ubermensch and Uberwomensch. Be supermen, superwomen. We could do Germany better in GDP, better in capitalism, better in socialism. Right now, Germany produces twice as many cars and they pay their workers twice as much. They do socialism and capitalism better than America does. Germany is just one country. Kentucky can do what Germany is doing. Whatever Germany is doing, let's do that. Let's produce as much GDP as we can, and let's also protect our unions and our workers. We have a mixed socialist, capitalist system anyways. Nobody wants pure capitalism. Nobody wants pure communism. Let's have elements of both. Communism pretends that there isn't an individual, and then capitalism pretends that there's not a society. We need a synthesis between the two. So the issue that I want to talk about is the Samantha Ramsey killing in Boone County. So you have Samantha Ramsey's at a party. She's driving away. Tyler Brockman comes over, is telling her to stop, and then she goes to pull off to the side. He runs out in front of the car, and then supposedly she accelerates. But you saw when she was accelerating, so she was going slow enough for him to run out in front of the car, and then he jumps up on top of the car, and then he shoots down. I just saw the video of the witness, and that's exactly how he had described it. That makes sense. And then he falls onto the ground, and that's when he tears up his foot. Because it doesn't make any sense. He hits, the foot is ran over by the tire, and then he's like all flipped around, and then he's on the hood. If he was to flip around, he's off to the side. Okay, so, and even if you don't disagree with me, at the very least, he should have gone to a jury trial. If we actually have a criminal justice system that functions, why would we not put Tyler Brockman through this criminal justice system that functions so well? The fact that they did not hand down an indictment is ridiculous. An indictment is not a conviction. An indictment is just that there is probable cause that a crime might have occurred, and then it goes to a jury trial. In fact, there's a saying that says you can indict a ham sandwich, and that's supposed to mean you can indict anything. You can indict anything. You can indict an elephant, a giraffe, a ham sandwich. I don't know how you would indict a ham sandwich. Would you have to arrest them, put them in cuffs? But see, the point is that indictments are easy to get, but if they're so easy to get, if one can indict a ham sandwich, then why can't a man with a badge and a uniform be indicted after he killed Samantha Ramsey? You can't get indicted. You can indict a ham sandwich, but you can't indict a man who shot and killed another person. A ham sandwich would never kill a person. A grand jury is only there to determine probable cause. That's it. Just probable cause. That's the threshold. For not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, that's the threshold one has to pass for a criminal trial. Not guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Not guilty with a or guilty, or whatever, guilt or not guilty, right? For a criminal trial, you need reasonable doubt. Beyond a reasonable doubt, he is guilty to get a conviction. In order to get a conviction of a civil lawsuit, if you was to sue Tyler Brockman, you don't need beyond a reasonable doubt, you just need a preponderance of the evidence. But for an indictment, it is just probable cause. You don't need a preponderance of evidence. You don't need to be guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. All we need to prove is probable cause. That's it. Just probable cause. I've known police officers that just accuse other people saying that, oh, I smell alcohol, so I'm going to have to search your car because I'm going to have to give you breathalyzer because I smell some alcohol. That's probable cause for them to further, do their thing. I'm kind of curious, is there a civil lawsuit? They talked about it. I haven't heard anything about it yet. But that's the thing, is that police officers have been known to lie in order to get probable cause. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, if I was accused of not wearing a seatbelt or jaywalking or any other accusation from a police officer, and it didn't matter if he just straight up lied, if I'm not guilty, I'd be standing in front of a judge, and of which, just like the prosecutor, they probably would have already assumed that I'm guilty. Hey, you're jaywalking. Now you're in front of a judge just because of an accusation. Just because someone says, he did that, and he's got a uniform and he's got a badge. Just an accusation is all you have. Jaywalking, seatbelt, that's enough. That's all we need. Just an accusation, and you're in front of the judge. But if you're a police officer and you murder a 19-year-old woman, you don't even go before the judge. You don't even get a jury trial. The reason why they won't put Tyler Brockman through the criminal justice system is because they know the jig is up. They can't put him through the system because they know the system is tilted against the accused. They don't want a non-biased jury to make a decision. They don't want Brockman to go through the injustice system because they don't want him to be convicted and put in jail. That's why they waited till after the election before they said, oh yeah, by the way, we didn't get an indictment. Oh, by the way, since you elected all the good people. So it was a big, massive cover-up. And you see, the thing is, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. You're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until you're proven innocent in a Kentucky court of law. Truth and justice stays far away from the Kentucky courts. This land was created by Henry Clay, a lawyer-type aristocrat. Daniel Boone came and discovered, but when you're a pioneer, you got to get along with other people. Not Henry Clay. He brought his slaves on over. He brought his lawyer talents, his legal education. This is a bastion for lawyers. And it's been that way since the very beginning. If you was to take a look at Franklin, which was a lost state of eastern Tennessee, they tried to create a state called Franklin. When they tried to form that state, they wanted to form a government that had banned any of these elites. None of the bankers or lawyers or aristocrats could even serve in the government of Franklin. Only regular working class people, only farmers, only middle class, working, poor, regular people, only average Kentuckians, or Franklinians, I guess, could be part of that government. And we also know that, lawyers and politicians, they lie. That's what they do. You can't even become a circuit court judge. You cannot become attorney general unless you're already a lawyer. So we did the exact opposite of Franklin. Instead of banning them, we said that only lawyers can hold these positions. And you know how much circuit court judges make? They make over $1 million after their 8-year term. $1 million, $130,000 per year. Louisville's spending over $32 million. over $32 million. And the judges, in my case with the LMPD, the guy didn't even have a button to put not guilty. That was the only time it's ever happened. Went through the jury trial and it was not guilty. So he didn't have a button to push for not guilty. That's not expected. Someone got accused, the cop pointed at somebody and says, hey, that's a jaywalker. Usually just pay the ticket and walk on, right? But if you used to go in front of the judge, would they listen to you? The only judge I ever heard listen to me was in Trumbull County. He actually weighed out the evidence, listened to, what I said, listened to what the other guy said, and then made a case, determined the case from that. Kept his mind open. But that's the only time that's ever happened. Generally speaking, someone's accusing you, and if they know the police officer, you're toast. You're toast. Tyler Brockman says you did jaywalking, you're in front of a judge. Tyler Brockman kills somebody, he doesn't go before a judge. He goes before a private little grand jury, which the prosecutor runs the grand jury. It has undue influence. They're not supposed to sway the jury one way or another. Usually it's about 12 grand jurors. But just like they did in Ferguson, Missouri, just like they did in New York with Eric Garner, when the prosecutor wants to get a specific verdict out of the grand jury, they can push the grand jury to believe what they say. The prosecutor organized all the 12 people, says, hey, you all come over here, you do this, you do that. Now you vote the way I tell you. Don't tell you the whole information, give you a biased perspective of how they see the thing. So, ultimately what needs to happen, as lieutenant governor, as governor, you control the state police. So, where is Steve Brashear? Where is Jack Conway? He's the attorney general. He's the top lawyer cop. And so, either Brashear or Jack Conway could have done something, but the KSP, they said like after 3 days, oh, you told us about this after 3 days, we're not going to do it. What? That don't make any sense. They were saying that they had messed with the scene too much. Well, maybe that's something you should investigate. But it's a thin blue line. They're thicker than thieves. If all cops are good, then the good cops will protest the bad cops. But they don't ever do that. It doesn't matter what they do. They always back each other. They're thicker than thieves. And so I'm in favor of reform. In fact, I thought Boone County had lapel body cameras on them. Where's his body camera at? If he had a body camera on, we would know the exact everything that happened from, not just the point that they drove off to the side, but we have seen the entire thing. Him jump up, point the gun right at Samantha Ramsey's chest, pow, 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 pow. We would have seen the whole thing. And if he ran over his foot, he'd be vindicated if it was caught on video. If you're a good guy, videos do not convict good guys. Videos convict the bad guys. And if you're a good person, if you're a good police officer who goes around protecting and serving and helping people, nothing on that body camera should say that, that what you did was wrong. We need a jury trial for Tyler Brockman. A jury trial for Brockman. If it's possible. They might say double jeopardy. One court already said he's not, well, they didn't say not guilty. Just they didn't have an indictment. There was another case where the prosecutor just called them up on their own. Judges can sign warrants. Prosecutors can call somebody up. You don't need to go through the grand jury. You don't need the grand jury's indictment. Just like police officers don't need a grand jury indictment when they accuse you of jaywalking or not wearing a seatbelt or driving 60 miles an hour in a 55 zone. They didn't need to get an indictment. They didn't need to go through the grand jury. They accused you, and now you got to go before the judge. Get a bench trial, get a jury trial, plea bargain, plead no contest, whatever. You go through the system just by an accusation. So that means any police officer could arrest Tyler Brockman. Any person that has arrest powers in Kentucky could arrest Tyler Brockman. And what kind of people has arrest powers in Kentucky? The jailers, the constables, the coroner, and the police. That's 4 different positions. That's 4 different. We also got vigilante laws. Citizens can put a citizen's arrest. We have many options. But if we can't get Tyler Brockman, then we should arrest every person who covered his crimes up.